Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to BYT. Today I got myself into the boat. I got back on the boat. I'll show you. As you can see, I have all those up there. And no seating in the boat currently. So I wanted to use those as bench seating. So what I did, I took one of these guys, or two of these frames. I cut the backs off. And I took one of these guys and I cut the leg off. And this is what I'm ending up with so far. I think it's going to work. But with the angle of the side of the boat, I may have to do something with those two back legs. Either cut them off, turn them around to where the bolt holes aren't in the back, they're in the front. And then bring them in a little further. I won't know that until I get this small spot welded in place. And put in. This will be a fabrication on the fly. But it should be enough for 4 people to sit, along this side. So I want to put a captain's chair over there, a captain's chair here, then bench seating on this side, double bench seat, and maybe one bench seat on that side. That's what my thoughts are, because I want to keep this area open for diving, fishing, whatever. I want to be able to stand back here and on the other side, because that over there has a ladder on it for getting in and out of the boat. So I want to keep that open. Originally they had the doghouse here, and then a seat right there behind it. Same as over here, they had a seat, had a pad here, and then a seat here. And I don't want that anymore. So the seat used to sit down on this, go over to the doghouse, and I want quick access to my batteries, quick access to my fuel tank, easy access to the motor. So that's what my thoughts are on it. Is to take 2 of those, gang them together to make one bench seat, and be able to bolt it to the new floor. Like I said, the floor is solid, but I want to put anchors in the wood. So I want to get everything in place where it belongs, put the new floor in, mark it where everything's going to be bolted down, take it out, drill the holes, put in the anchors, so when the new floor is in, everything is bolted to the new wood. So that's my thoughts on this. Like I said, work in progress, just another project. See you in a bit. Well, here's where I'm at so far. That's actually going to have to go that way more to clear this corner. So this can be open back here. And I do believe I'm going to have to cut these legs off here. Take the feet, face the feet, and mount the feet to the sidewall. So that area there will have a foot on the back end of it, as well as that and that down there. And then that will be mounted there. And of course I might have to stack the tubes on this end and that end to bring the feet up high enough to mount. Because right now, I mean, they're sitting on an increased angle. But that's because the feet are up on this raised area. So once I remove them, I can level that back out, bring it back farther, and then stack the feet on top of this square tube facing this side rail, and then mount the feet on the seat and just mount it to the side rail. When I put the new floor in, mark those 2 bolt holes, drill them out, put in the anchors, and just be able to bolt them down, same as with those 2 bolts and the bolts on the other end. So I don't think I'm going to get a captain's chair for there. Whoever's sitting up there can have their legs underneath and have an oh shit bar up there on the dashboard for them to hang on to. So, and I'm thinking either boxing in the bottom and making the seats hinged, or boxing in the front and the back because the seats will be on here almost all the way up to this rail, side rail. Mount the seat lids permanently, and then put netting in the front, so you'd have open under seat storage, but it wouldn't be enclosed; it'd be open. So those are the ideas I've been tossing around thus far. See you in a bit. So, current situation on the boat. Charging the battery. Put a bigger battery in instead of that one to see if it's cold cranking amps. But it's showing 75%, which should be plenty enough. You know, yeah, it started out a little bit lower, but you know how battery chargers are. They're smarter than I am. Knowing voltage, see, it's moving up. So, I tried jump starting, you know, the solenoid over there, and I also tried jump starting the starter down there, and I got nothing. No clicks, no nothing. The starter's not even clicking, so I may have to pull this starter out, which looks to be going to be a pain in the ass, because I don't see the mounting bolts anywhere. Yeah, that thing is mounted back there. You know, it's nothing can be easy, I'm telling you. Have to figure out the mounting bolts to the starter. I may even have to pull the plugs out, see if it's worth my time. This thing may be seized up, I don't know. Pull the plugs. You know, I already tried turning it by hand, but I know boat motors are very high compression, so I might have to pull all 4 plugs and then see if I can crank it over by hand just to see. And then, you know, the starter, of course, you know, I'm gonna have to do something with it. Pull it out, something, figure out how it's mounted in there, and bench test it, just to see if it fucking whirls. You know, the starter might be froze up on it. Who knows? All we can do is wait and see. So until I get a 100% charge on that, I am stopping what I'm doing on the boat, because there ain't no use in doing an inside interior if the motor is worth a shit. Let's see, that just beeped. It's checking. Kicking back on. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that battery might be almost dead. You know, it might only have 25% juice. It might not have enough cold cranking amps in it. So I am going to let the battery charge once it's fully charged. Because I tested, I turned the blower on, I got all my lights, everything's working. And nothing to the starter when I turn the ignition. So that's where we're at, and we'll just let her sit for a while, get her composure, and we'll move on to the next. See you in a bit. You know, and going by just what I have on hand to start the interior build of the bus, I already own this. It's only 1200 watt continuous, 2400 watt peak. From what I can think and the way I'm building this thing, there's only going to be 3 things: a Blu-ray player, TV, and the TV may have a Blu-ray player built in. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet with that, and a refrigerator. So on hand, I do have that, and I also have on hand, never used, still in the box, but it's only 45 watt. And I'm still determining on whether or not I'm going to start out with this and use it for charging a house battery. because I am going to have, let's see, I'll take you for a little tour here. Don't mind the mess, I'm stepping over everything again. That right there is going to be my panel, and it's not hooked to nothing, it's just mounted there. I was going to use it and I never did, so I'm going to take this 6-panel breaker box and install it in the bus. So I'm going to have shore power to this, and I need to have a transfer switch or something of that nature, so to that box, so I can go from shore power to solar power or battery power, because basically the only thing that will do is charge my batteries when I'm not using them. There's not enough there to run anything, minus the little lights that come with it. Those are kind of cute, which I may install. I may put them in there and I may use them. I don't know. I mean, you know, you can run lights on the setup that's in this box, because I believe it's got everything in the box. I believe there's a charge controller, there's a small battery, there's 2 lights, and a solar panel. So it's a whole kit. But like I said, I haven't taken it out yet, haven't even looked at it. It was my dad's, and he was going to use it for something, I think, lights in a greenhouse or something like that. And it never got used, so if I can utilize what I have a couple small LED light bulbs, a charge controller, and I do believe a battery's in there. I can't tell, that picture's a little damaged. And I can't see anywhere else that gives me a list of what's all in there. So it is a very basic setup with very basic stuff. But if it's enough to charge a battery that I only need while I'm driving, because I do have, you can go find it, a electric start generator. Besides that big green Onan out there that I know will run a house, it actually came out of a big motorhome, but somebody used it for something else. But over there, let me see if I can get around everything here. I have this generator, and 13 horsepower. Oh, everything's breaking. 7,000 watts. So I have ran my welder off of this. I ran a storage, or well, shed, workshop. I powered it with this generator. My lights, plugs for drills, everything. It's got 2 10 amp, 2 23 amp breakers. So, and it's got the voltmeter on it. It's got a 240 plug here. It's got another 240 plug here, and 2 110s. Then it's got the DC 12 volt outputs, fuses, and ground wire. So if I remove it from its frame, which obviously the frame down here is in rough shape and breaking, and the rubber mounts and stuff. So if I remove this generator from its frame, faceplate and all, put it on a slide tray, run it to a separate fuel tank, and I may, it's a dang good, nice, quiet running generator. So that may be what goes under the bus. Like I said, I'll put it to its own gravity feed fuel tank. Like I said, I was thinking about, if the boat is bad, there's a fuel cell in the back of it, aluminum, that is for regular gas, and it's pretty good size. So should this motor be bad and the boat be junk, the fuel cell that sits over here in this corner, there's the fuel for it. It's good size. I will utilize what I have, and I'll put that fuel cell in the bus to run the generator, or extra fuel tank for motorcycles, things of that nature. Other stuff, glass windows, I don't know. Trailer could be definitely used for something. Definitely big whip antenna over there. CB that's in there, marine grade, and everything works. You know, I would really prefer the boat to work. I like my fishing. Most of the times you can't fish without a boat, especially where we're at, all the lakes, and usually around the areas of the lakes are privately owned. Oh, look at that, my light's still on. I got the battery charging and the keys off, but my bow lights and my stern lights are still on. I thought I turned it off. It must be. That's my running. That's my stationary. Okay. Nothing. Oh, blower comes on without the ignition on too. Okay. Nice to know. So, there you go. Oh, okay, lights are all off now. And like I said, there's the fuel cell, which I'm gonna say, maybe 20 gallon. Let's see if it says it on here. I believe that's 19 capacity. So a 19 gallon fuel cell would run a generator for quite some time, and with it being electric start. And even if if the boat does work, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about adding underneath the bus in the area of the new frame, behind the diesel tank. You know, that would be a great place for a fuel cell where I can put a pump, which I have. Let me get down over here, hanging up right there. I'll get over here to it. You can mount these permanently. They're threaded. So I could mount this into a fuel cell. There's your cap, for putting on drums and stuff. So I could actually mount this to a fuel cell, run a rubber hose off the end of this, and it'd be just like a fuel pump. So I could put my own filling station right in the back of the garage. So, rambling on, I'll see what I can get into, and we'll talk to you in a bit. Alright, little recap for the day. Got this to fire. I believe it's a fuel issue. Kicked it a few times, and then, of course nothing else. But fuel was coming out the lines, so I believe there's fuel in the carburetor, it's just not enough to run it. Boat started on the seats, battery on the charger. Let's see, what is it at? It's still charging, so yeah, that thing was kind of pretty low. Oh, we'll try that again later. Alright, what I haven't shown yet, took this apart. This is pieces of the old gate. Started building that. As you can see, the bus is out farther. Took it out around the yard. I need to raise that. And I can't do it from inside with the bus inside the garage because the gate won't come out. It hits the beam up there. So I need to raise that this much. So, or half the distance, or full distance, it's going to be about a 14-foot gate when I'm done. Somewhere between 12 and 14. But that hinge, let's see if I can grab this here. That hinge up there, that rod is an axle. And I'm going to extend these up to that axle, put a cradle in them, and then weld the cradle to that axle. That'll be part of the hinge. This piece that's attached to this will be part of the hinge. See, it slides around. I can move it back and forth. That'll be in its own little place over here between this pillar and this pillar. And when the gate opens, the stops, that'll have a stop on it, that'll have a stop on it, and this will have a stop on it. So this back half of the gate, let me move this over a little bit more. Let's see here, it's moving slowly. So there'll be a stop on all three pieces, and on all three of these pieces will be attached to this back side of the gate. So when it opens, it'll stop. And I'm pretty positive, but on the bottom, and I'm not going to use this. This is just mock-up, just to see how long I needed to make the gate. I got it out on a flat spot, and I extended the gate out. And with the way it sits now, that part of the gate sits on the bumper. So I have to extend this piece, which is not attached yet, it's just clamped in place, by probably close to 2 feet. So the back gate's going to be somewhere between 6 and 7 feet long. You know, I might go 6.5 to split the difference. But I'm going to put rollers on the outside gate, so when it hits the ground, it'll roll. I do have a winch, and I may do a double pulley system on it to raise and lower this gate because it is going to be so big. But at 12 foot, it was fairly easy incline, which is what I'm looking for. So, and the back gate here, whatever I build here, will lock when it's closed. It'll lock to this gate. So when I put this gate down as a deck, the bottom gate, or the outer gate, will become the bottom side of the deck. And I will have adjustable legs mounted on both sides for stanchions to hold the gate in place, and they'll be adjustable. I'm going to take the camper jacks off of that pop-up truck bed camper, and I'm going to mount them to the side of the gate, so they'll swivel as the gate comes down. So will they, and then I can just raise and lower them to their proper height on unlevel ground. So when I'm all said and done, and this comes down, I will have somewhere between a 16 and 17 foot deck by 7.5 feet wide to, just relax on, watch sunsets, drink coffee in the morning, whatever the hell we want to do out here. It's going to be quite nice. I do believe that axle pin that I'm creating, and because these will come up and be attached. This will be a solid piece, but I believe that almost 5 foot wide pin should be sufficient enough to hold that gate for loading and unloading motorcycles. I mean, my golf cart weighs about as much as my motorcycle. That's a gas-powered easy-go. The motorcycles, they're 700-800 pounds. I think this gate is going to be well sufficient enough to hold that kind of weight when I'm done. keeping it light, that's going to be the trick. You know, I may just end up putting steel mesh back on it both sides, and just, like I said, coming up with a winch system, either by hand or because the collapsible camper trailer that I'm getting, it also has a pulley system in it that is a pop-up. So it collapses and it raises with a crank. So that crank may be come in use, and the pulleys, because it raises all four corners at the same time. So that pulley system I may use on this gate, and just have like a little trap door over here with the crank in it to raise and lower the gate. Well, that'll all be determined in the future. We'll have to wait and see when I get it here. Sorry, I reached my limit on that video. So I gotta get the camper here so I can get all the parts and pieces off it that I need, like the door, the siding, the stove, the sink, the holding tanks, the toilet, the whole 9 yards. The next weather break we get, I will finish painting the blue. My apologies on that closing video. If you like today's content, please like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below. I'm getting notifications left and right. It's interfering with my video. So, like I said, if you like today's content, please like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Whatever you're doing out there, be safe. Have yourselves a great day, and we shall see you tomorrow.